I was commissioner of the Massachusetts Department of Community Affairs, which is the agency that at the time was the statewide planning agency, and we provided technical advice and services to Massachusetts' 351 cities and towns. And I was in charge of the department, sitting in my office one day, and I get a call from the governor's office saying, "Get ready to get on the plane with the governor to go down to Martha's Vineyard." So we flew down, and we were the subjects of a major townwide meeting. I forget what the building was, but it was in Vineyard Haven, and people were, in the aisles with pitchforks and torches, and very, very upset about the Kennedy legislation.
Yeah.
And I recall, Governor going back and forth with them, and he pointed to me toward the end of the event and said I would be the person responsible for cleaning up the situation and working with the town and coming up with a better solution. Actually, not just one town, but obviously 6 towns. Is there kind of a big town hall?
Yeah, there's the Catherine Cornell Theater.
That's, I believe, where it was. Okay. Yes, that's right.
Cool.
73, I think it was. 73, 74. I mean, I met all spring and summer, I think it was, with the selectmen and with the County Planning Commission working on solutions. And I can't remember any of the selectmen, but I will say that every one of them from all the towns were just great. I mean, they were very cooperative and very helpful. And, I have some experience. I had some experience in Massachusetts government and know that selectmen are not happy at giving up local powers. But it was clear to me that the only way that would work is that if we could create an island-wide body that made land use decisions on certain kinds of projects. At least the people I was talking to were uniformly against the Kennedy bill. Now, I'm sure there were some people on the island who were for it, but as it lined up to me at the time, it was the summer people versus the island people. And as you know, or the year-round people, and as you know, that's a recipe for bad town and gown relations.
Yeah.
So there was clearly a schism here, and I know that it was felt passionately by some of the selectmen. I worked very closely with this is someone with Alex Fittinghoff.
Yeah.
Who was the head of the County Planning Commission.
Yep.
A very capable person, and very helpful, and a very good partner. And also with Terry McCarthy, who was the state representative for that time. I think actually the island had its own state rep. So we were having these meetings all summer, and I was trying to pick up from the selectmen, the County Planning Commission, and the community meetings that we held, what would be the best vehicle for us to go forward. I remember going to an ALI-ABA convention out in Chicago.
What is that? What was the
American
organization?
Law Institute, American Bar Association held a meeting out in Chicago on the topic of growth management, which was just beginning to kind of work its way into land use planning and dealing with local issues. We're talking 73, and the kind of leading examples of that were the coastal. There's a Coastal Communities Act out in California.
Okay.
That provided some good examples. And there was the model that the ALI-ABA was advocating, which developed with which essentially looked at developments of more than local impact and developments taking place in critical areas.
Yeah.
And that's really where the whole concept came up. And I'm just looking on your website, and it looks like you're still adhering pretty much to those definitions. So I worked with my staff at DCA, Department of Community Affairs, and I worked with the governor's legal office to come up with a vehicle that we could then present to people on the island and for that matter, to Kennedy and to Brooke, who were by this time, Senator Brooke, both of them were involved by this time.
Okay.
And the key features were, again, making an island-wide decision for certain types of growth issues, basically developments in critical areas like wetlands or key passageways or what have you, and then local impact. And once we had the vehicle in hand, again, it was many trips to the island that I would take to review with the selectmen and with the planning commission and the various boards and other people who were interested in this issue. And also, I spent about 3 or 4 days in Washington with Senator Kennedy's staff. I mean, he was skeptical with Senator Kennedy's staff, but Senator Brooke supported the legislation, and eventually, in Washington, in Senator Kennedy's hideaway office, we finally developed something that was acceptable to Kennedy and to Brooke, and that we had the cover from the two major national politicians who were focused on this issue, and then it was time to go back to the locals, kind of do a pass through again, and then the next 2 steps were an island-wide referendum. Which we felt had to take place, and it was the legislative model passed successfully.
Yeah.
And then a state bill filed by Representative McCarthy that also passed quite easily. So it looked like it ended up being the best solution for everyone. The governor was happy. I believe Senator Kennedy was happy. He told me he was, and that Senator Brooke was happy. So it's kind of one of those things that worked out. Sometimes, you can say that's the way we planned it, and that's the way it went, and it actually does work out that way.